Hello and welcome back to Boring Dead Gaming, where today we're going to be playing more Rogue Trader Lex Imperialis, the second major story expansion DLC for the game. Now we're here to observe an execution. I'm going to guess it's something up here. If we look at the map, it's quite a big area. We've kind of done stuff around here, I think, so far. There was something I missed here. I'm not quite sure how I missed that. I'm just kind of wondering whether we might want to kind of finish our explorations before going into whatever story stuff that's going to be.
The world will bow.
There seems to be quite a lot of goods around here. A lot of cargo stuff. Ooh, what we got here? It's a Lacerax. Ooh. That's quite a nice one. So if I go on to my Cybermastiff, Glyto, so that's the one. What did I just get? This one. So at the moment he's got plus 10 weapon skill and 100% more damage. This one is for 150% more damage. Whenever it's protected ally, well, I don't use the protect thing. I do use the apprehend thing. But just being able to do more base damage, that feels like that might be better, right? So let's equip that. Oh, I wonder. Oh, maybe I didn't miss anything. Maybe it's just that. Abelard, can you climb up there? He's getting exhausted. I think he must have.
That was barely a challenge.
He must have failed something previously, I think. Chapter 0406. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's pointing me towards anything. I haven't had like a quest or anything.
Experience. Nothing matters more.
What's going on here?
Predictable.
Oh, we succeeded. It was just some XP.
Let's seize the
particular
opportunity.
Information about it. What are you barking at, Glyto? Is there anything here? Sometimes he spots. Well, I think if there's a secret, he'll spot it and barks. So. If he goes off, it's worth investigating, I think. What's this? Oh, there's a little panorama of the area, it seems.
I tread a path
the sculptor.
unexplored.
Tavris the Sculptor. The sculptor's mechanical hands crawl over the rough stone, their many-jointed metal fingers remaining in constant motion. Even now, you recognize your own features in the unfinished piece. Oh, I don't. Looks more like Napoleon or something. It seems someone commissioned a statue of you the moment you set foot on the planet. The old man turns his wrinkled face to you, and you see crystals where his eyes should be. Can you zoom in and see that?
Is my celestial lady here to gaze upon her destiny? Alas, my creation is not yet complete.
Who are you?
A humble creator, the governor's first sculptor, Tavris, who has the honor of shaping the destinies of others, but not his own.
Tavris the Sculptor turns his head to you, but you see no pupils in his crystal ocular augmetics. I meant to look at the sculpture. What has my destiny got to do with it?
When I sculpt, your celestial highness, I see people's destinies in the forms I create. The visions that come to me shape not only the stone, but each person's fate as well. Your image was indistinct when it first appeared before me, and my work is not yet done. What do you wish to behold?
The glorious deeds of my future. The sculptor's hands scuttle over the stone like huge metal spiders. Somehow, his sightless gaze envisions the exact version of you that you wish to see.
Your destiny will soon be complete, my lady. I will have it delivered to your spacefaring vessel.
Starfaring vessel. We've gained the glory yet to come effect, duration permanent. This is your very life's path has been carved into stone. Images from your deeds, future deeds, are distracting you from the here and now, but someday those fantasies will become reality. Reduces the character's fellowship until the end of the mission on Thessera. Oh, right. Okay. I don't quite understand. Are you a psyker?
My Lord Governor calls me a foreteller and creator. Others a wicked sorcerer. But there's no cause for concern. My abilities are sanctioned, and I am pure before the Emperor's celestial eye.
He gestures at the tubes on the back of his head as if to prove the truth of his words. What can you tell me about this material that you're working with?
This is Thercertium, a fascinating stone born from the bowels of this planet. Like any other kind, it bends and melts beneath the sculptor's tool. But for the sculpture to come to life in earnest, they must put their very soul into it.
Which one is the sculptor saying that? These all look like my guys. Well, that's... Oh, no, that is... Okay, no, that is the sculptor. I thought that was Dahlia, because they look very similar, but... There we go. One of his hands emerges from behind the statue and gently touches his head, seeming of its own volition.
The soul, however, obtains calluses the more the sculptor works, and mine has long since become covered in scabs.
The blue veins of the statue flare faintly under your gaze. The stone undoubtedly possesses psi-focus properties, allowing the old man to concentrate warp energies into it and amplify them. Your hand augmetics are most impressive. Such implants are impossible to come by on a feudal world. Where are you from?
Lord Royaldo had my limbs replaced before he took me from my home planet. It was so long ago, I've since forgotten what my land is like to the touch.
The sculptor's mechanical arms are pierced by sticky tubes, and the elbow joints have all but worn down. It must have been a decade since these implants were last serviced. Such neglect often poses a serious threat to the person's life. And yet the old man's skin looks relatively healthy in the spots where flesh and metal meet. Warp test succeeded. The man appears to belong to a rare variety of psychers, biomancers capable of recovering even from otherwise deadly wounds and diseases. Did you capture the governor's destiny in sculpture too? His mouth stretches into a cryptic smile.
I have made thousands of statues for Royaldo, but the Sarah's stone flesh can never seem to sate his great ambitions.
The old sculptor once more turns his unseeing gaze to the patterns in the stone before him.
The
Mysterious.
world trembles beneath my feet.
If we fix this, that'll give us an easy up and down shortcut.
Operation successful.
Armor of Iron Will. I mean, I'll take it. I'm not sure if we'll use it. I think a lot of the items that you just get in this DLC are probably quite low level. Because you can play it from the beginning, so they probably have to balance that a bit. Is that I tell you what, if there's like a haystack or something, I was wondering if it might be like an Assassin's Creed Easter egg. Like jumping off the high points.
Intriguing.
I'm not sure though, to be honest. Let's fix this though.
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
Cool, so we can get up and down easily now. Oh, is it? Oh, that's another locked gate, isn't it? Okay. The tables are overflowing with rare and peculiar food. There is enough of it to easily feed dozens of hungry mouths. The servants are unlikely to get even a morsel of the feast. It does not escape your notice that a few leftovers from the plates disappear into the servant's filthy apron.
Powers unseen
perks of the job, innit?
uncover my path.
Perks of the job. Oh, we're back at... Oh, okay, this is... Now, we might get drawn into the execution thing. There's a little bit to do. Oh, are we getting drawn into it? No, maybe not. Just kind of want to hoover up as much as we can. How much does it drop my fellowship by, I wonder? I don't think it's a stat I use a lot of. You notice a veritable mountain of leftovers under the table. The guests have been tossing scraps on the floor without thought. So if my dog was there, he'd love You notice a tiny lice are hopping around the gilded plate. The lady squashes the insects with a small golden hammer, only for more of them to drop from her coiffed hair into her food. Is it coiffed or coiffed? I would say coiffed. Coiffed? Coiffed. I don't know. It started to lose all meaning for me. Yeah, there's one here that I've obviously missed. Grab that. How are we doing? So there's... Oh, that's the sculptor. There's a loot there near the execution. I don't think I found that area down here. We'll have to find that. So past the sculptor, there should be something else to grab. Oh, I see. Good boy, Glyto. Look at the band. I like that. That's fun. Right, well, I think we're probably done in our explorations now. I suspect if I move up here, it's going to advance stuff. So let's, yeah. Ursa's Bloodhands. You see a man with a cruel grimace on his face and hands disfigured with burn marks. Behind him stands a ghastly-looking iron mechanism bearing the likeness of a saint. Flames lick at the smouldering eye sockets and mouth, which is fixed into a silent scream. The man, clearly the executioner, bows his head.
The very messengers of the sky have come to decide our fate. We are honoured, your celestial highness.
Who are you?
I am Ursus Bloodhands, a slaughterman of the 5th generation, and a humble disciple of the Iron Saint you see before you, your celestial highness.
Master Ursus knows no mercy, and his hand is unfailingly firm in the sacred cause of administering justice.
Maeve is careful to keep her posture straight, but her frightened gaze is deliberately averted from both the executioner and the mechanism behind him. What is that structure?
His instrument of punishment is a personification of the great Phasmorpheus the Martyred, who accomplished the legendary feat of slaying 300 heretics. As is glorious tradition, all mutants who affront the Emperor's gaze and stain the face of Thassaera must enter the Saint's iron embrace. Whenever justice is served, hundreds flock to the Phasmorpheus, eager to witness the magnificent spectacle.
You have just confessed that your semblance of justice serves not as a demonstration of lawful authority and deterrence to your subjects, but as entertainment. Solomon utters the last word with disgust, as if there could be no fouler profanity. Who's inside the statue right now?
Another heretic who violated the holy laws of Thassaera. And since his body's already turned into ash, any such will be the fate of his name as well. To be scattered to the winds, that it may never again defile the lips of any who live upon our sacred world.
Never again defile the lips.
Maeve looks ready to faint. She seems both terrified and nauseated by this sacred rite that has drawn so many onlookers. Now, Dahlia does like a good burning, as we know, but this doesn't seem great, does it? I hope that concludes the incendiary atrocities for today.
Well, that was but one of the first bodies set to stoke the Phasmorpheus. No, that's not right. Phasmophorius. It's going to get a lot busier now.
So to confirm the man's words, the fire-breathing saint expels a puff of acrid smoke.
While our heroes being reduced to ashes, let us meet the next participants in our performance.
Two people, or something resembling people, are pushed onto the stage. They are mutants, hideous parodies of humanity, forever tainted by the imperfections of the flesh. One of them is dressed in stained yet expensive clothes. The other wears the tattered uniform of the local guards.
Your celestial highness, behold 2 loathsome heretics who blemish the very face of Thassaera with their existence.
Ursus chuckles, but his sneer is completely devoid of mirth.
Yeah. The degree of their guilt may vary, but they both deserve to enter the blazing bowels of the Phasmophorius for the worst of their transgressions, distorting the sacred face of humanity. But, since fate has graced us with such lofty visitors, I eagerly cede the right to punish these miscreants to you, your celestial highness.
Contrary to his honeyed words, the executioner's voice betrays his poorly concealed displeasure. Cassia purses her lips when she notices the onlookers staring at her hands, eyes, and neck. Many point their fingers shamelessly in her direction. Others spit at their feet in disgust. Her chin raised high, the Lady Navigator adjusts her forehead adornment with her clawed hands. She squares her shoulders, lets out a breath, and glares at the crowd with condescension. What do you mean by the degree of their guilt may vary? Ursus fixes you with a fanatical glare.
One of them, despite being one of the highest lords of Thasera, spat on our world's customs by refusing to alter his destiny. Ugh. The other did change his fate, even though he was just a lowborn, wallowing in the mud.
What in Lex's name did I just hear? Solomon raises his voice slightly, indicating that the usually impassive arbitrator is profoundly indignant. I normally have no trouble passing judgment, but in this case, I don't even know where to start. What was the opulently dressed mutant's crime?
Ah, a rotten stain upon the noble families. He was hiding in his manner to conceal his deformities, but had trouble keeping his mouth shut, proliferating filth in tracts that he later sent out with his servants. He declared the choice of one's own fate to be slavery, cast aspersions on the very traditions of the world, was insolent, swore profanely, condemned those who had chosen a new destiny. Luckily, he's got no heirs, and today this cursed bloodline shall be put to rest, once and for all.
Hang on, what was he? He was hiding... He sent out sort of screeds, okay. Declared the choice of one's own fate to be slavery. I don't really get this destinies thing, but hopefully we'll get more of an insight into what that's all about. Mutant nobleman. The richly garbed mutant moans something. You notice stitches on his disfigured face. The zealous servants were evidently in a hurry to silence the condemned man early and sewed his twisted mouth shut. You seem to be... let's talk about the guard's uniform first.
Oh, thief, brigand and murderer. It's no way to list all the crimes lying upon this freak's conscience. However, his willingness to change his destiny against all odds merits this mutant at least some honour. Despite his feeble-mindedness and simplicity, he had enough sense to obscure his countenance with hoods and helmets, till he made his way from beggar to guard. It was not long before his excessive passion for fighting and stabbing gave him away.
The mutant utters a foul curse under his breath and immediately gives you a frightened look and falls silent. The mere sight of the Celestial Lady seems to instill a reverent awe in the common denizens of Thasera. You praise the low-born mutant, despise the vicious acts he's committed.
Well, they're both mutants and have thereby violated his law. Yet, when one finds a spark of nobility in an abject commoner, one cannot help but feel a grain of respect for them. This heretic may be of low birth, but he does not flout the values of Thasera the way the nobleman does, and thus honours our traditions and his will. Born into the rabble, he applied all his abilities and skills, defied the restraints placed upon him, and crushed those who stood in his path, all in order to forge a new destiny for himself.
You seem to be strangely obsessed with destiny and changing it. Ursus observes you with guarded curiosity.
Well, there's two great truths on Thasera, your celestial highness. The first is that the Emperor created the planets and the stars and then fashioned humanity in his image, and we are but his unworthy children. The second is that we've each been given the freedom to change our destiny, a divine gift that separates us from beasts and his enemies, a gift that fills our lives with his light. Should someone choose to rot away in the cage of their destiny and neither be content nor seek to change it, then into the Phasmophorius they go.
Freedom to change destiny. Solomon repeats slowly with an undertone of utter disbelief at what he is hearing. Even you, a degenerate, should know that everyone has their place in the God Emperor's plan from birth, and that any attempt to change that is a violation of his will. What do you say, Maeve? Which of these two deserves to die? Maeve's gaze darts fearfully around while visibly avoiding the doomed mutants on the platform.
I am of too low a birth to take on the burden of being a judge, my celestial lady.
I'm ready to announce my decision.
You, the word of a distinguished guest is law. We're all trembling with anticipation.
Maeve seems to have reined in the emotions that were overtaking her, and she casts a timid glance at you as she awaits the verdict. So the other guy, he's a thief and a murderer. So he's definitely a criminal. The other guy was just, he's a bit of a, He's a bit of a rebel, isn't he? But he's not done anything criminal. Let's send the mutant commoner to the furnace.
The furnace. All those scandalous misdeeds in one heretic will make, such lovely sparks. Behold the starfall.
The fool's slimy joke is followed by laughter as the crowd anticipates the coming spectacle. Ursus gives you a dark look, as if reluctantly, and through gritted teeth he forces out the words,
Her Celestial Highness has spoken. May the flames of Saint Phesmophorius purify you, heretic.
Ursus glares at the surviving mutant with loathing.
Get out. Praise Her Celestial Highness for granting you a life you do not deserve.
The crowd around you starts jeering and the mutant scurries away in haste. Cassie appears into the statue's flaming eyes and with a strange expression whispers softly, "When you give an order like that, do not look away. Keep watching until the end, so that you remember the price that was paid, so that you remember the weight of your words." Ignoring the raging fire within the Phesmophorius, Argentus studies the crowd. "All of them came here to taste of other people's pain, not to praise his justice. They are as a pack of dogs slavering for a fresh bone."
And now my favourite word. Next!
A pale, bony creature, barely able to move its legs, enters the stage. In place of a mask, it turns a horrific medley of features towards the world. This ugliness, however, is nothing like that of the previous convicts. The thin, squeamishly twisted mouth is fused to the cheekbones. Malicious eyes peer into the crowd from under hideous folds of skin. The face of this heretic appears to have melted and congealed. Can I zoom in? What is this heretic guilty of? The executioner does not answer right away, but makes you wait for a moment.
His crime is more grievous than any this scaffold has ever seen. He was granted a new destiny, but chose to defy it. He turned away the greatest gift that can be offered to the loyal sons and daughters of Thassara.
The wretched man's gaze drifts over the crowd until his piercing eyes meet yours. His head twitches, his face contorting in a monstrous grimace.
Shut up! Shut up! Before it gets in!
He whispers in a sudden frenzy.
I won't give up! I won't give it up! I won't!
Oh, no. we didn't come here for you to stay mum. Squeal now and squeal louder.
The crowd takes up the fool's outburst and begins demanding more screams. What happened to his face? Is he another mutant?
The Syrian fever. You need not worry, Your Celestial Highness. It's not contagious.
Where is that blasted court fool? You glance at the crowd and suddenly see the fool prancing and flitting among the Gawkers, clearly trying not to be spotted by you. What should we do? It's not to Solomon, it's time to teach this gathering a lesson. Without uttering a word, the arbitrator draws his weapon. A shot rings out and a deafening shriek rises from the throng of people. You catch sight of the badly wounded fool disappearing into the crowd. He took 90 damage. Maeve cries out in horror and immediately clasps her mouth with both hands, trying to lock her voice inside. Enough deaths, let him go. As Ursus opens his mouth to say something, the convict takes a step on his clumsy, spindly legs, and then another one.
The face! Pretty, strong, shining.
A gnarled claw points directly at you.
Give it here! Give it to me now instead of the one I bear. Take mine. It's not mine. Take it! Take it!
The madman raises his crooked fingers to his face and sinks his nails into its sagging flesh. Shrieking with what sounds like relief, he tears off a piece of his cheek, then another, and then one more. Falling to his knees, he frantically scratches his own eyes out, smearing blood and clear ichor across his face, before collapsing dead on the platform. Warp stuff seems to be happening now. A sudden rumble draws your attention. Like a rockfall tumbling down a slope, the thudding of feet and mad screams overwhelm you. After a moment, you see the source of the commotion. A throng of mutants is charging straight at you.
The absurdity of your struggle amuses me.
Alright, we're fighting them, are we?
You will fall.
I guess. Right, Cassia, why don't you just blam those? Argenta. Let me shred those. Abelard, anything Argenta leaves standing. You know, send him in here. Pascale. Pascale. Let's do that. Solomon. Et moi. Really? Let's go there. Alright, Cassia. Well, these guys are probably in for a world of hurt right now.
If I may, thank you for the navigator's might. I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Another little stare. I think that probably kills most
Isn't this a
of them.
job for now? Glad and scarlet.
Damn, girl. Okay. Yeah, that cleared things out a little bit. You got that Abelard
I'll
of a
show
full
you
go.
why navigators are feared.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones.
Okay, what should we do?
I'd rather not.
Wait, why is this not working? Oh, choose as an ally. What's that? Oh, I see. Okay.
Victory is imminent.
Come fight me instead. Sworn enemy.
I will do my duty. It will be done.
Fight me. You're on, fight me. Oh, Abelard does auto riposte.
At your beck and call. It will be done. Victory is imminent.
Okay, what we got?
I will do my one fewer time.
Wham.
Indeed. At your beck and call. Reduce to dust.
Okay. Okay, what are these things?
Victory is imminent.
Damn.
I'm not interested.
I'm gonna just do this one. I think he might be able to clear the map.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. It will be done. I took care of this one. Indeed. At your beck and call.
Oh, we got a parry.
I will do my duty. Someone else can do this.
Oh, we finally run out of stuff. Alright. I don't think that really helps anything, but actually we should move him out of the way because Argenta's about to go ham on these guys.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
I need to look up, can I do it from here? So his sword should be, this gives him... Oh, when he parries, they immediately, when the wielder successfully parries with the sword, they immediately counteract. Okay. So I guess he didn't parry that previous attack. Now what's armor is Solomon wearing? Is this any better than what he's got on? Yeah, probably not. Well, that's probably Abelard's go, which was actually Cassia's go. Oh no, it's actually my go. So I could... Quite a lot of stacks of that.
Closer.
Bernie.
Ruin beckons.
A colossal mistake.
Yeah, that was rather more effective than it seemed like it was gonna be.
I need no guidance.
Now be on burned to death, I guess.
A blood-soaked tribute.
Sure, why not? Oh, the executioner didn't die. Governor Rowaldo.
Your Celestial Highness, apologies for my late arrival. I wasted a great deal of time in idle squabbles with an oaf of a treasurer as he was looking for the Shipman Chronicle. I only heard about the attack after it had already begun, and the elevator might as well not have been moving at all, it was so slow.
The treasurer, the elevator. Who are you going to blame next, Governor? Are you the ruler of this world or a casual onlooker? You will take measures immediately and restore order, or I will conclude that you are sabotaging the rogue trader's visit, either by intent or simply due to your own ineptness.
The governor babbles in fear.
I never thought.
He takes a deep breath. The culprits, of course. The culprits will face execution post-haste, my celestial lady. Survey the square. An oppressive silence hangs over the previously bustling plaza. The people are taking in the carnage, clearly avoiding looking at you, but still catching your every word. You notice Maeve standing nearby, gazing around her with horror in her eyes. Alright, we'll find those responsible and bring them to me.
Look at them mutants broke loose and attacked the townsfolk. It's been a long, long time since anything like that happened, Your Celestial Highness. They must have sniffed out that today is a special day.
The executioner's lip curls, split by a blow during the fight.
The commander was responsible for guarding them. He got careless.
Turgulek Grooms. His armor rattling, one of the knights steps forward.
I am Targulak Grooms, commander of the fortress. I can attest that the ungodly mutants were restrained properly. It's the Phasmophorius. The smoke whipped the brutes into a frenzy.
Strike the governor. If it were not for the tithe, you would be the one facing execution. The governor staggers back from the blow, barely managing to stay on his feet. A trickle of blood runs down his lip and he spits out a few rotten teeth onto the stones.
Oh, thank you, Your Celestial Highness. I'll never forget the lesson taught to me by the Emperor's own anointed.
Alright, so it's either the commander or the executioner, is it? Then I shall now make my decision.
My celestial lady, I swear on my life that my knights and I did everything we could to keep you safe. Who could have foreseen then that the Phasmophorius, after gorging itself on miscreants, would start driving the mutants mad with its smoke?
Lies. The Phasmophorius doesn't taunt heretics, it fills them with terror. To shift the blame for your own failure onto a sacred weapon of justice is a heinous crime in and of itself.
I'm gonna execute the executioner. The executioner is to blame for what has transpired, Solomon. Enact the will of justice. Boom. There is no change in Solomon's expression as he performs the execution. Ursus Bloodhands expires without making a sound.
You are our savior today, Your Celestial Highness, and in gratitude, please accept this personalized sword from my treasury. Fatebringer once decided the outcome of one of our feuds. It killed a rebel leader, and peace has reigned on the planet ever since.
Fatebringer. The wielder's attacks ignore the target's armor. Wow, okay. So the main thing is it's pure armor pen. A two-handed sword, not that much base damage. I mean, meh. Solomon, make a note of this attempted bribery. I have no need of your gifts, Roaldo.
Done. Continue in this vein, Governor, and your punishment won't be long in coming.
Oh, Emperor forfend that I tried to bribe you, Your Celestial Highness. The thought never even occurred to me. Forgive me most graciously.
The governor bows at your feet. Look at Maeve. Having dusted herself off and resumed a proper bearing, Maeve stares off into space. Despite the shock, her lips are pressed firmly together, and her back is impeccably straight. Here's your celebration is over, Governor.
Oh, not in the least. I will not let some beast ruin everything we've worked so hard to prepare. I suggest we distance ourselves from this place and return to our corner of revelry and peace. By your leave, I'll be waiting for you at the head table. Oh, God, Emperor, give me strength.
Swallowing noisily, the governor hurriedly departs the scene of slaughter.
It amazes me that that idiot just underpaid the tithe and did not somehow lose the whole planet as well.
Solomon pauses, pensively watching the governor leave.
Fine, a feast it is. I am sick of the stench of burned meat. Let's try a change of scenery.
Her face pale, Maeve raises a hand.
My celestial lady, it's only a few steps away. The noble lords are already lifting their glasses in their saviour's honour, awaiting your arrival. Shall we proceed?
Fine. Oops. Alright, okay, so, yeah. Let's, we'll do a little go around here, just, getting all the, loot, I suppose. Feudal sword, hardened shield. They're all a bit crap. That's alright.
I tread a path
You can keep it.
unexplored.
Well, they're not keeping it. I'm putting it in my hold. That's fine. Cupbearer. What's Glyto got for us? Radiant Shield. Whenever the wielder blocks an attack, the attacker must pass an agility resistance test or become blinded. It's not bad, but I'm going to stick it in the hold. I've got a couple of good shields already. What about the Cupbearer? Dark maroon amasec is pouring out of the ridiculously gaudy fountain. An eager cupbearer hands you a goblet filled to the brim.
Have a taste, if you please, my celestial lady. This vintage has been maturing ever since we laid the cornerstone to our citadel. We tapped it to celebrate you.
Do you always have amasec flowing from that fountain?
Oh, by no means. Such frivolous excess would impede us in carrying out our burden of service to the Emperor. It's only on truly great days, such as today's, that the fountain pours forth this noble beverage. Besides, even the sturdiest of servants could not work the pump for days on end.
The pump?
Naturally, my celestial lady, it requires the grueling labour of dozens of sturdy workers to create the upward movement of the liquid in the pipes. It is a most useful contraption.
I'm ready to celebrate my glorious self. A pleasant warmth spreads through your body. The liquor is surprisingly palatable. The servant fills up another cup and exclaims,
May your spirit be stronger than any amasec.
hand the cup to Maeve. The young woman's cheeks flush a bright red as she accepts the drink from you.
Oh, thank you, my celestial lady. Here's to you prospering forever, and Thessera always serving you truly and faithfully.
Maeve takes a sip and coughs, but upon noticing your gaze, she bravely downs the drink after all. Hand the cup to Solomon. The duty of a valued guest is calling, Proctor.
No, and not just because I am on mission.
Solomon studies the fountain with a critical eye.
This is nothing more than a carousal on a backward world, no matter how many court fools are singing on glory. There is neither honor nor pleasure in partaking of local liquor.
Come on, Solomon, just one cup.
Oh, you're like Glyto when he sinks his teeth into a heretic.
The Proctor takes the cup and downs it in one long, powerful gulp.
Are you sure this is Amasec? It is a tad watery. Trust a planet that underpays its tithes to dilute its liquor as well.
Offer the drink to your retinue. Abelard accepts the cup with great decorum, takes half a gulp and grunts thoughtfully.
Yes, an interesting bouquet. Not particularly refined, but quite potable. In my uninitiated opinion, of course.
Amasec clouds the mind and darkens the eye. I will refrain, rogue trader.
Cassie's eyes widen in dismay. She stares intently at the cup and then screws up her eyes and downs the contents in one gulp.
My throat is on fire.
Request denied. I am registering a number of mind-altering substances in this preparation that act as cognitive suppressants.
Pascal casts a long look at the fountain.
The layman or woman who conceived the idea of installing a poisonous fountain in a public place must have been under the influence of the poison themselves.
Alright, I think I've had enough.
I've got some goods here.
The machine god grants me insight.
Governor Tavrisk. There's something down there, but...
Let's seize the opportunity.
Gara. The governor's hand reaches for the Amasec, but flinches under your gaze and abruptly changes trajectory towards the appetizers.
Oh, today is a very nervous day, Your Celestial Highness, and when I feel nervous, I eat and drink and eat again. That is just the way I am. But Emperor have mercy, the food today is to die for. Would you like to have some? I recommend you try the fried alcadont, whose horns were still goring my hunters just the other day. And here we have some 5-tailed shrimperiuses in stewed black-eyed sauce. These fellows need to be eaten quickly before they scurry off the plate. As for the side dishes, you simply must have a taste of these crispy blabberid shells seasoned with blue glut. This spice scorches your tongue, but follow it with some amasec and it will feel like the waters of life itself.
I'm gonna try a check. I'm gonna do defeat the blabberid shells seasoned with blue glut. Succeeded. You pop a fried blabberid shell into your mouth, first one, and then another and another. The blue glut stings your tongue and throat, but Dahlia von Borinicus von Valancius is made of sterner stuff than all these milksops. Eventually, you crush the last blabberid between your jaws, before wiping a napkin over your chin and tossing it victoriously to the table. We got Guts of Iron. Permanent. You've managed to keep a stony face while downing an entire dish of hot blabberids, a show of steel-hard composure. Increases the character's intelligence and willpower in the next combat. This is a one-time bonus that disappears after the combat ends. Cool. Alright. Sounds good. Incredible, but how? How did you accomplish it? My fellow revelers, let us raise our cups to the unbreakable strength of the God Emperor's emissary. The entire Thessarian nobility lift their golden goblets in your honour. Okay, our odds have dropped quite substantially now. Now that we've had some refreshments, let us talk. Verily, your celestial highness. He reaches his ring-studded hand for the goblet, but stops at the sound of Maeve's voice.
My lord, remember what the physician told you. Temperance is the best cure for your ailments. I fear that you have disobeyed his wishes again today.
And now I am paying for it with a compromised sense of balance and a regrettable inability to admire the disguised impostors. And the hunt is already in full swing. Solomon leans over to you.
Rogue trader, once you've had your fill of the governor, let me ask him a few questions.
Alright, what is this hunt you meant? Oh, no, I asked the wrong thing. What did I ask? Another local pastime. Very well, I hope it is not as pathetic as the last one. Rowaldo waves a hand at Maeve. Be a darling and tell our guest about our amusements. I am a little, exhausted.
Of course, my lord. The imposter hunt takes place every moonlife. Shortly before the event, the servants are thoroughly cleansed of dirt and foulness, combed, dressed in expensive clothing and masks, and invited into the courtyard with the rest of the guests. The nobles hide their faces as well, and then they try to guess who the impostors are. Telling one from the other is quite a challenge sometimes.
The governor suddenly perks up again, and that is the best part. I highly recommend you try it, your celestial highness. It makes for a very interesting change of pace. And on this occasion, the privilege of branding, if you will, falls entirely to you or our honoured celestial guest. How does one find an impostor in the crowd?
Oh, by the way they talk. By their lack of restraint, the unfamiliar delicacies overwhelm them so much that they lose control. Impostors are often scared of the responsibility that has fallen on their weak shoulders, and they try to stay close to the real nobles and imitate their rarefied manners. During the hunt, it is most worthwhile to pay attention to separate groups where conversation has already started. A frightened impostor will probably try to hide behind other people's backs. That's all I know, your celestial lady.
Suppose I found all the impostors, what happens next? Maeve produces a shimmering slate featuring a string of fine inscriptions.
Oh, this is a data brand, one of our off-world treasures. We handle it with the greatest care. And yet all of Thessara's jewels and miracles cannot compare to the resplendence of your glory, my celestial lady. When you find an impostor, you need only mark them with this wondrous brand.
Analyzing. This brand is the property of the Idex Venteris food factory. It was used to mark the meat of high-protein specimens of the planet's fauna. This inscription in Proto-Gothic translates to Grox on Corp feed.
At the end of the hunt, we hold a great feast. If you guess at least one of the impostors, you will also win a fine prize. If you guess all four, there will be an even more special reward. I remember at one of the hunts, a servant played the role of a baron so well that all the lords unanimously granted him favour and let him keep the title and privileges of the nobility. Such a thing rarely happens, but who knows what the evening will bring. But tonight it is you who will determine the worthy, my celestial lady.
Did you just admit that there is masquerading rabble among the Thessarian nobles? Illiterate, with no idea how to collect taxes, or by the throne that actually explains so much?
The proctor scoffs and glances at the enthusiastic guests.
Go ahead, Governor. Commence your charade. The sooner we start, the sooner we finish.
Governor lets out an audible gulp. It shall be done, your capital, celestial highness. I will participate in the hunt. Marvellous. As soon as you are done with your search, I will be... The governor attempts to rise from the table, but gravity proves to be his superior.
Perhaps you should stay here, my lord.
Maeve's gaze is full of genuine concern. I feel you may be right, Maeve. I'll be waiting here, surrounded by savoury dishes and plentiful amasec. Have a fruitful hunt, your celestial highness.
Maeve, bring me a cup of amasec, and make sure it's filled to the brim.
Comes an unexpected order from Solomon.
It will be done, my lord judge.
Solomon waits until Maeve is some distance away and then turns to you.
I wanted to talk to you without the observer they have attached to us overhearing.
He casts a sweeping glance around the courtyard and lowers his voice.
Do you get the sense that what is happening raises questions that lack coherent answers?
I'm uneasy as well on account of certain unusual circumstances.
Which ones in particular?
I don't know if we work down these or just choose one, but remember that last mutant from the public execution? Something was off about him, and it wasn't just the physical deformity.
Yes, mutation is a corruption that seldom leaves a person with a sound mind. But what the madman spouted on the scaffold and what he had done to himself was beyond the pale.
The governor's strange behaviour, the remarkably lavish gifts, the change in personality, and all of that just before our arrival.
You're not wrong. In particular, I would like to note the governor granting preferential treatment to our attendant. Perhaps he needs her unconditional trust to ensure that she does something, or on the contrary, remains uninvolved at just the right moment.
The governor barely manages to stay in his saddle, which is odd for a local nobleman.
Not too odd considering Rollo's ravenous fondness for food and Amasek, but an astute observation nonetheless.
The local beliefs, what is this tripe about altering your destiny?
The God Emperor alone knows how many different cults of him there are. No two planets worship him in quite the same way, but only a heretic would wax poetic about altering a fate that was ordained by the Emperor once and for all.
Have you seen the writings of that madman Fault? The Chronicle of Fates? It's lunacy bordering on heresy.
Not bordering, they are heresy writ large. But that is not what troubles me. What troubles me is that the madman succeeded in publishing them.
The fact that there was a mutant attack during a public execution with no clear or evident cause.
The attack is unlikely to have been planned. It looked too messy, shall we say. On the other hand, perhaps that's the best this backwater planet can do when it comes to plotting and scheming.
I do not like the way the governor is using every means possible to stall our inquiry into the tithe.
Indeed. At first, one could mistake it for sycophancy in an attempt to please the celestial guests. But the longer it goes on, the more apparent the criminal intent behind this stalling of the inevitable becomes.
What's your conclusion?
I have a theory, but I would like to hear yours first, lest my opinions influence your reasoning.
Yeah, remember we saw the blacksmith who was making bullets and armaments, which shouldn't be possible. Thesera is not what they are making it out to be, not a feudal world with a primitive populace, but a forge world, or else an industrial one. The point of the deception is to pay a smaller tithe. Solomon looks at you as doubt evident.
Certainly a bold theory, but I would be wary of such far-reaching speculations. My hypothesis is that this is not about the tithe. It is merely a pretext to keep us here long enough, but what for? We should play along for now. Let them think we've taken the bait while we wait for an opportunity to seize control of the situation. For that, we need to agree on a signal to launch a coordinated attack.
My words will be, the Emperor knows.
Understood.
Maeve returns, taking quick, careful steps along the paved road, a brimming goblet in her hands.
Your Amasek, my lord. I haven't spilt a drop.
Without a word, the arbitrator hurls the drink on the pavement. The splash of Amasek is like a scarlet wound upon the stone that has been polished by 1,000 souls. Okay. Right. Well, I think that's probably a fairly good place to leave it for now. We've got to go and do this sort of quest thing, but that might take a little while, so I'm inclined to maybe do that next time. But thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Rogue Trader. Certainly an interesting one, I think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments anyway, and if you did enjoy it, if you could hit that like button, that's always appreciated. And if you're watching this and not yet subscribed to the channel, if you could do that as well, that'd be fantastic. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.